try like new fighters when they come out, or do you find yourself now that you're playing Dead or Alive 4 competitively, you really have to stick with that game?
I play new ones occasionally, but I never really put the dedication as in, oh, I'm gonna play this one. Oh, I'm gonna get really good at this one. But
right.
I have to. I don't know, I just kind of try them out for a little bit, but then I get bored, and then
just to see how they are. Right, right. That's understandable. So I remember the first time that we actually met, which was at the Pepsi Summit. I don't know if you remember that, but when you were playing there at that time, did you ever think that you would end up as the top female in Dead or Alive for the Championship Gaming Series?
No, I didn't think that'd be like that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go play Dead or Alive 4 for a while.
Right.
I'm gonna have fun. We're just gonna be a competition. I didn't think it'd escalate to like all this stuff, right?
Yeah. So let me elaborate on this story because it might be interesting for a lot. I mean, a lot of folks know the story of the first draft pick for CGS, and even not only first draft pick, but also female, is that, God, it must have been like almost a year and a half ago, there was this Pepsi Summit. It's a media summit, and one of the things that they were doing was educating people on the Championship Gaming Series, and they had asked Vanessa, and he's probably going to kill me. I don't remember who else was there. Punisher, thank you, Punisher. All right, sorry, Punisher, if you watch. Punisher, they came to sort of showcase a Dead or Alive 4 match. Now, up to this point, I had actually done two of the CGIs, and you played in the second one, right? And actually, the second one came after that, I think, didn't it?
Yeah, it came after.
Yeah, okay. So you played in the second one, but so I had done the first one, but it was really, it was really interesting because I had no idea too, what the CGS was about to become and how it was going to turn into the draft and whatnot. So it was sort of a humbling experience getting to meet you and then have you pretty much kick Punisher's ass on stage and then move into the Championship Gaming Series spot. I thought that was really awesome. So what was it like being the first draft pick for CGS?
It was really weird because a lot of people were just hoping like, please let me get drafted. I was
right.
thinking I'd be the first. I'm like,
were you in that state? Were you like, I just hope I get on a team?
Yeah, I was just kind of like, please, I hope I did all right. I mean, I won all my matches, but sometimes you're just kind of worried in the back of your head.
Right.
So I was hoping I was getting drafted, and there were rumors of you might get the first, and I was like, as long as I get drafted, I am fine.
It doesn't matter what place I'm in.
Yeah.
And you were picked up by Kat Hunter of the San Francisco Optics, and I know that there's one thing that I think that is unique about Optics that I saw throughout the team forming to the point where the playoffs took place, is that it was probably, in my opinion, the closest, the sort of the tightest knit group of gamers that were franchises in the Championship Gaming Series that were together. Between Kat, between Dave Chappelle, the Sturmy. One thing that Kat did an awesome job was like bringing the team together. And I mean, I want you to tell me, but from an outsider looking in, a lot of times I just felt like Optics to me is like one big family.
Yeah, basically we were, because a lot of the other teams they worked together, but you never really saw them hanging out with each other.
Right.
They kind of like after the games went off and did their own thing.
Right.
But the Optics were always close. We were always going up, hanging out with each other. We just like formed a bond, and we were just really close. And I think no other team really comes as close as we did.
What was your opinion of Kat as a GM prior to you being picked, and then throughout the season, how did your opinions change, or maybe not at all, about Kat as your general manager?
I always thought Kat would be an awesome. I didn't really get to talk to her much, or any of the real GMs, because that's kind of had me worried, because I didn't really talk to any GMs at all during the draft or the.
Well, I think you let your thumbs and fingers do most of the talking, but
yeah, I was interested in Kat. I always thought it was very interesting that she was the only female GM, and she was close to my hometown of San Francisco. So, and then I was just really honored to have her.
That's a great picture you found there, right? That's awesome, isn't it?
This small pic of Kat.
The world's smallest picture.
Yeah, I mean, Kat's great. What throughout the season? I mean, was it your first match, or was it your first meeting where you were like, I know I'm on the right team?
Yeah, basically when it was our first meeting after the combine, that I knew that we were going to be a force to be reckoned with. And
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So was the first season of the Championship Gaming Series like a surreal experience for you?
Yeah, because that was like the longest time I've been away from home. We were at the Oakwoods, and basically, you used to everyone being spread out across the
Right.
world. You're not used to Swoozy being next door to you,
Right.
Master being upstairs, Offbeat on the other side of the complex, you know, and the matches, the EA building,
Right.
and bright lights, and it was just kind of like, it was just weird.
Did it take adjusting? I mean, was it? First off, you mentioned EA, and what happened was prior to the televised regular season, there were some off-season matches played at EA that were covered actually by us on the internet, and that was sort of the first. It was the first exposure to the format, the point format, actually playing against these teams. How much did that experience differ from, like you had mentioned, the bright lights, the cameras, the audiences of the television production?
Well, in EA, it was kind of more of a laid-back type thing. You know, you didn't have the camera shoved in, and you're kind of like, it's kind of like at home, you know, just with a bigger crowd. It's kind of like a standard tournament where you're just playing your match. And then once you get to the CGS buildings and Rayleigh Studios,
Right.
it's like the bright lights are flashing. You hear Farouk shoutcasting up there. It was just an awesome experience overall.
So when you guys did the EA stuff, one of the things that I thought was really cool about the EA stuff is that I had no idea how much investment the teams were going to put into what their other players were doing. And what I mean by that is, like, you know, I come from a portion of the professional gaming realm where, you know, a team like Complexity as their Counter-Strike team, you know, they really only ever had to worry about their Counter-Strike team, you know, or you as a DOA 4 player, when you're competing, you really only ever had to worry about yourself. And the first thing I noticed about EA is that suddenly, like, there was a definite vested interest in everything. Like, did that take you by surprise a little bit, that all of a sudden you're like, wow, I really need to watch what's going on in this Counter-Strike game because it's going to affect, you know, what's going on with our team?
Basically, like in our game, Dead or Alive 4, it's kind of like you're just against the other person.
Right.
You just got to worry about what you're doing. But when we went to LA, it was kind of like, it's not even about that. You know, I can win my match, but, you know, we can still lose this.
Right.
So I want to make sure, like, our Counter-Strike team is doing, I want to see what they're doing. I want to see FIFA. You know, you just get into it and you just, like, screaming through the crowds if you get a goal in FIFA, when usually if you would watch it, like, on the TV or something, you'd be like,
yeah, whatever. Yeah. So, I mean, you pretty much owned the competition during the first season of Region 1, but who was your toughest female competitor throughout the season, do you think?
I'd say it'd probably be a toss-up between Kasumi-chan. The three that I thought were the best were Kasumi-chan, Coles-Bella, and Raspberry-chan. Yeah,
Okay.
they were always the ones that gave a good challenge.
Okay. And I had another one. It was following up to that question. When it was your turn to play, when it was, you know, when Vanessa was up on the block, you know, people, not only the people on your team, but even me as an announcer, and even, you know, the opponent that you were facing, pretty much expected you to, like, 5-0 your opponent. Was there any added pressure to your matches because of this, or did that help you? You know, like, for some gamers, it's like, that's just an added pressure that they don't need. For others, it's like, great, you know, bring it on. That's just going to make me play better. How did that sit for you?
Sometimes it made me feel better or play better, but sometimes it was kind of like you know, one time I remember in the EA building, I was, like, the first week I had strep throat, I was just done.
Not playing as well, yeah.
And so it was against one of the teams, and then I was about to play, we were up by something, and then Kat goes to me, and she's like, I know you're going to do this anyway, but I'm going to need a 5-0. And then I was kind of like,
she just put the pressure
I
on
demand it.
and then I was kind of like, oh, I will try my best. But then I got kind of worried, like, what if I don't get a 5-0? Will she be disappointed? No, I can't do that. But sometimes it helped my game, but sometimes it kind of got me a little worried. So it balanced itself out.
It did balance itself out. So you not only had the Region 1 competition that took place in July, that was televised on DirecTV 101. They're still running the episodes as well if you haven't seen them. Also, and I know that Rance has flashed it a few times, but thecgs.com, there's a lot of archive media there as well, including Region 1.
Like this guy.
And
What is that? Like that guy.
It looks like Dwight from The Office,
It's
from
like a
where
green
I'm
screen
sitting.
house.
And
It's Marty.
it's Marty.
Who's Marty?
What's he doing?
I don't know.
The what is it? What did it say? The workplace of
Oh
what?
my gosh. Vanessa, were you part of this?
Yes, I was.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
This song goes out to the guys in the accounts payable department. David,
very
Eric, Derek,
funny
and
video.
Brad.
All 5 of them. I think there's 5.
You guys are on Marty's list.
I'm already bored of Marty.
He's about
You
ready
better
to
rock.
though.
You better rock, Marty.
David, Eric, Derek, and Brad.
Oh my God.
Your inner office gaming has got me hopping mad, cause while I'm hard at work filing insurance claims, you're playing that Counter-Strike video game. From 9 to 5, you're going head to head. All this fun on the job is making me see red. Well, if I was the boss, you know that I would proclaim that the workplace is no place for video games.
I disagree.
Yeah.
We need this dude on the show.
Derek and Brad, you're the most annoying.
All right. So there you go. In addition to Marty, who's obviously the next internet sensation, watch out, Tay Zonde. You've got all sorts of region videos, Region 1, Region 2. I know that the Asia region and the Australian region just completed as well. But you attend